Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man
Yes, it's around the
comes
corner.
out, I believe, in like exactly 2 weeks. What do we think about this? The animation style is hotly
Discussed.
debated.
Yes.
Um, it's been a long time since we've had a new Spider-Man cartoon.
Hmm.
They're definitely fucking with some concepts. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but they are doing that.
Yeah.
That's a thing that's happening. They're trying something, but there is a genuine question of did anyone want or ask for this?
I think, like, obviously we've discussed about the animation style. We're both kind of like, we're open to this style and we'll see how it feels.
Yeah.
I get some people being a bit standoffish about it. It's not your like what you would expect nowadays for an animation style.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it's coming from a place of creative choice and should hopefully work. I do think unfortunately some people will just not like it and that will hurt the show a little bit in like ratings because people are just like this animation style's horrible to me and I think this ruins the show. I think unfortunately the only other animated Spider-Man stuff that we've had recently has been Spider-Verse, which people
Which is a
love.
whole other level, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And like they've got their own very unique style that is now loved by people that however way you want to cut it, people are going to compare this to that because they're like, well, this is what we could have as an animated Spider-Man and you're giving us this. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I think they're doing this for a creative reason. It'll make sense when you watch an episode. Like it'll feel
Yes.
right.
If they stick to that, like going between
Comic panels.
shots like
Yeah.
we've seen them use in the trailer, if they stick to that theme throughout the show, the visual style will make a lot more sense. If they just did that for the trailer, I think I might have a larger problem with
Yeah, I could agree with
the
that.
design choice. Maybe. I might still not care, but I can see that potentially being something that might bother me.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, story-wise, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this season's meant to be. I'm gonna guess, as it's Disney Plus, like 8
12
episodes.
episodes at most, yeah.
Yeah.
The big thing that's confusing me is in the trailer we see Norman Osborn give him the Future Foundation suit,
Yes, I'm gonna be saying
which
this.
isn't a Norman Osborn thing, that's a Fantastic Four thing. And if it's not going to be a Fantastic Four thing, they could have just redesigned a different suit. There are so many creative people who would love the opportunity to design a spider suit. I don't
Yep.
know why you would just take a suit that was used for something else and use it. Weird to me. We know we're going to get a lot of other characters. We know like Daredevil's making appearances and characters like that.
Mm.
I'm cautiously optimistic that it will be fun, but we do need to remember when it comes to comic book stuff and cartoons, especially, Spider-Man people have always got a lot, which kind of makes them harder to please.
Yeah, you got a lot of competition.
Yeah, like if we were getting like I know it's out there, like an animated Jeff the Landshark show. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are less Jeff the Landshark fans than Spider-Man fans, and they've never had a TV show for their favorite character. They'd kind of just be excited that their favorite
Yeah.
character's getting a show.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, I get your point.
Spider-Man fans are going to compare it to the 19 other Spider-Man
Yeah.
cartoons we've had and all the films and go, well, it was better than that, but it was worse than all of these, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's one of those where I think I'm the same as you. I'm optimistic, but it's kind of Marvel's last lot of animated stuff has only been What If, really, and that's not really been great in
No.
the grand scheme of things.
Which is kind of why I'm glad
Well,
they chose to change the animation style.
yeah. Then you've got X-Men 97, and we love that. And it's like, this is very different. It's like, visually, it might work if the story is strong like the X-Men 97 story was. It also could have the effect of people go, well, where does this fit into MCU stuff? If they want to, like,
I mean,
some people get picky like that.
yeah, it's not MCU, and I think they've kind of made a rod for their own back because for so long, like the Marvel motto was MCU synergy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything had to relate back to the films in some way. It caused changes to the way comics were written. Caused changes to games. Caused changes to everything. And now the DCU's come about, and I don't think DCU caused Spider-Man to happen.
Mm.
I think the reason the DCU was made the DCU is being made is the same reason Marvel have realised this MCU synergy is unsustainable. Is because you need to have people be able to choose what they want to watch.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people who are still die-hard Marvel fans and will watch something like this are people who are used to MCU synergy now and are, like you say, going to go, wait, this isn't MCU, it makes no sense. What's the point?
I do predict it'll like start with this is Earth whatever number, so that they're like
Honestly, it wouldn't hurt.
no, yeah, it won't. But I think it kind of needs to have that.
Just
That
get Ryan
instantly
Reynolds in
just
the Deadpool suit to just go, this is not the MCU.
he's just in the post credits, just like at the TVA, being like, "Yo, this is different world. No Tom Holland."
Yeah. Just give us something. Because you're right, there are going to be people who don't understand it. It's not their fault because for the longest time, they have been used to anything that's Marvel as the MCU.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, if it doesn't land with people, people are going to turn around and go, "Why couldn't you give us X-Men '97 but with Spider-Man?" Or "We've got Spider-Verse. Why couldn't you take an inspiration? Like this is what we want. You gave us this." And yeah, it's
I
the sort of
completely agree.
show that the internet might get a
Could
hold
eat
of.
alive.
Yeah, because they don't like it, and then it goes round the internet of people that haven't really watched it, and they're going, "Oh, this looks rubbish."
It's a big candidate for they've decided it's bad before having watched it, and therefore they're not gonna watch it, but they're gonna complain it's bad.
Yeah,
I completely agree. There is the big risk of that. I want them to really give us that street level superhero vibe again. I want it to be very character focused. I want it to feel like it. The one thing I have seen people worried about, which I think is very valid, is and to be honest, and this is no shade at you as not being as big a comic reader, you probably won't even be as aware of this. Peter Parker has lost a lot of his, pardon the pun, venom over the years. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was very common for Peter to be portrayed as someone who's trying his best, but has a bit of an anger issue. That is not the case anymore. Peter's kind of toothless and boring now.
But yeah, I think unfortunately a lot of the recent portrayals of Peter have always been superhero origin, young kid.
No, but that's when he was even worse.
Oh, okay.
Like, high school Peter is, for want of a better word, a bit of an arsehole.
Fair.
And they dialed that back a little bit, which I don't agree with dialing it back a little bit because I think it was a bit much. It was hard to believe that he was a hero at all. But now we've kind of got, and again, it's like no hate to like Tom Holland or anything, but it's kind of like this cutesy guy who's just like a bit naive and a bit sweet. Like in No Way Home, where he had a bit more anger towards Green Goblin after Aunt May. That's a bit more like it. And like Andrew Garfield getting a bit angry at times, and Tobey Maguire having a bit of a snap in him is a bit more like it. And what we've seen so far, he seems just, oh, what a cute little nerd. And people are like, please let him have a little bit of
bite
behind him. Like I know again you've not watched a lot of Doctor Who in a while, but you'll remember doing like early Tennant and Eccleston. There were moments where he would go from looking like he's just a clown to just turning on the dime and being like, right, I am the fucking Doctor, you're gonna do as you're told. There was a little bit of like that kind of could switch moment, and people are a little bit worried that that's gone from Peter and never coming back.
I can understand people thinking that, especially with it being Disney. Though X-Men '97 showed us they can be pretty like hard hitting with the storyline, so maybe they can bring it back.
That's why I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
because I think they can do it. But we'll have to wait and see. I am excited for the show because how can you not be excited for a Spider-Man project?
And you love Spider-Man.
But yeah, hopefully we get rewarded for our optimism with a very good show, and we get to go, ha ha
He's
ha, we told you
just
there was nothing to worry about.